First World War, Canadians fought in battles all across Europe, but they also saved countless lives in hospitals. And thanks to a Victoria family's remarkable donation to the Royal BC Museum, we now have a better picture of what life was like at a unique wartime hospital in Greece.
All of the material that was donated by his family brings together as complete a picture of the campaign in the Canadian Army Medical Corps as possible. Today we're looking at one campaign that was part of the Great War that gets very little attention, and that's the Salonika campaign, which occurred out in Greece and the territory of Macedonia, the fight against the Bulgarians. And for the Bulgarians, it is, they call it their Verdun, hold out at all costs. There were 5 Canadian medical units that went out in support of the British Army. What we're particularly interested in today is number 5 Canadian General Hospital, which was organized out of Victoria, British Columbia, and whose colonel was Edward Charles Hart. And this was his tunic, his medals, the map. The blister was the Canadian General Hospital's newsletter. So because of the nature of the front being somewhat stagnant at times because of the harsh winters and the harsh summers, most of the actions only occurred in the spring and the fall. So there was periods of time where not a lot was going on. There was a nickname created for them called the Gardeners of Salonika, because one of the things that they did to increase morale there was they had baseball, they had cricket, they had football. This one in particular was for the nurses' race. They did have track events, but eventually there are 3 major battles of Doiran, and it's at that time where the 5th Canadian General Hospital starts dealing with more surgical cases rather than cases involving disease. And one of the really interesting stories was the destruction of a Zeppelin that had raided the area. There was a scramble to get aluminum fragments from it. And so we do have cutlery here from that Zeppelin destruction because they took these aluminum pieces and they turned them into things. So we're really grateful that he kept this stuff. And in this case, it really highlights a unique Canadian episode.
This Week in History, brought to you by the Royal BC Museum, bringing British Columbia's stories together.